Hello and welcome to 99th Monkey Liberty News, formerly known as the 50-cent tour of the day. Today is Wednesday, October 9th. The first article that we will look at today isn't really news, but it's just some really interesting information, very pertinent to the struggle to become free from oppression. The Road to Roota Letters by Bix Weir. This website has several videos, and Bix Weir explains here why he has put up this website. It was January 2007 when I first discovered the information released by the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston that changed my understanding of the gold and silver markets, the financial markets, the energy markets, the monetary system, as well as the true essence of my country, the United States of America. Interestingly enough, it came in the form of a children's comic book. And as the website outlines, there is a serious issue with the government of this country today, and Bix Weir in this website offers a theoretical scenario of what he believes might happen. What is really going to happen? I don't know, but this makes a lot of sense. It paints a picture of how things really are. It does not candy coat anything, but it does allow for a light at the end of the tunnel, a way through. So in that respect, it is encouraging. These conclusions may sound way too positive and outrageously naive, but everything I watch points to a very bright future, even if it takes a few bumps to get there. I think most of us who are aware of what's going on can use some encouragement, and this information, while really not, as I said, not candy coating anything, does offer some encouragement for the future. Here is an article from Wake Up World: Mathematical proof that cooperative, forgiving, and generous populations succeed in the long term, while selfish ones fail. There was a university that was completed. This article sums up the results of the study, and the conclusion is that, as the title stated, mathematical proof that cooperative, forgiving, and generous populations succeed in the long term. So you might feel like a sap sometimes, trying to be a kind person, and I love the quote from the film Half-Baked: "They're mistaking my kindness for weakness." Yeah, Americans' kindness has been mistaken for weakness for a long time. While weakness is not a positive character attribute, kindness most certainly is. If we can remember that through whatever struggles are ahead of us, we will come out better on the other side. Speaking of communities and caring, Commuter disconnect. Passengers were too immersed in toys to spot murder. This article is from RT, and it's interesting to me because I have ridden on BART many times, and that BART is where this occurred. Someone pulled out a gun. I guess this person was, the security cameras in BART showed that this person was kind of waving a gun around and then finally shot someone. So just utter madness. I understand riding, from the times that I've been on BART, nobody's friendly, nobody looks around. It's rare to have a conversation with someone. Everybody's really trying to tune out, because when you're in such close quarters with complete strangers, it's really not a comfortable situation. So I think everybody tries to go somewhere else in their head. Perhaps that is not the best course of action. if we can be out of our head for a little while, look around, smile at people, make eye contact, that makes the world a safer place. It really does. I've read that if someone is behaving suspiciously, the best course of action is to make eye contact with them. Now, this is somebody on the street, like, perhaps a thief. I'm not saying that you pick a fight with someone who is looking for a fight. But when you make eye contact with someone, they become aware that you will be able to identify them. And so eye contact and a smile. I mean, why not put people at ease no matter how unfriendly they are? Either that or carry a concealed weapon, or both, perhaps. Carrying a concealed weapon certainly does not rule out being kind and friendly. Here is an article from the Electronic Frontier Foundation, How the NSA Deploys Malware, an in-depth look at the new revelations. And this information comes from a security expert, Bruce Schneier, who is working with The Guardian to go through the Snowden documents. So the Snowden documents are giving a lot of insight into how the NSA exploits weaknesses in software to gain access to computers. It says, in order to infect the computers of targeted users. So, and the template for attacking people with malware used by the NSA is in widespread use by criminals and fraudsters, as well as foreign intelligence agencies. So it's important to understand and defend against this threat to avoid being a victim to the plethora of attackers out there. And of course the article has more detail. EFF always does a great job in presenting information, and hopefully you will find that helpful. From the Activist Post, an article, winner, World Food Prize awarded for breakthroughs in mass population poisoning. Apparently tampering with the genetic makeup of food and turning something that used to be healthy into poison, tainting the soil, air, and water with chemical drift from pesticides like Roundup, killing the bee population of entire continents, and driving small farmers out of business through gratuitous lawsuits and unethical practices, pays big public relations dividends. The World Food Prize is said to be the equivalent of the Nobel Prize for agriculture. Yes, and who won the World Food Prize? Sure, Monsanto and Syngenta. So, and it's Alex Jones often talks about Obama winning a Peace Prize and how these people dole out prizes to one another. Just that whole system needs to be flushed, doesn't it? Maybe we can put together some kind of awards for organic farmers. Another RT article, Hunt for Silk Road Users and Bitcoin Fortunes Intensifies. And there is this interesting push-pull between the idea of privacy and the idea of security. Privacy in economic and financial transactions is going to allow for some bad guys to get through the sieve. And their transactions will go through unnoticed because of privacy. That is, we're just going to have to accept that. And personally, I believe that the cabal is exploiting issues like the Silk Road money laundering organization in order to give Bitcoin a bad name and make people afraid to use Bitcoin and make people afraid to allow other people to have privacy. Speaking of coins, Goldman tells clients to sell gold, did same in November 2007. Gold then rose 12%. And this article is from Zero Hedge. I noticed earlier today gold was down about 1%, silver was down almost 2%. I think they both have come up a little now, but evidently people are following this advice to sell gold. And I'm not a gold bug. I believe that currency should be backed by a mixture of assets, both hard and intellectual property, things of that nature. However, if ever there was a time to hold on to some gold with the currency getting rocked and potential for being rocked even more, I would say this would be the time to hold on to gold. That is not financial advice, by the way. I am not an expert. And here's an article. Dow crosses below 200 DMA for the first time in 2013. Another article from Zero Hedge. There's just caution. I believe that anyone who's not exercising caution pertaining to the financial markets right now is probably living in a fool's paradise. There are just a lot of signs that business as usual may very well not continue to go on much longer. And here is an article from Conscious Life News. The faux hyper-meritocracy that threatens to destroy us. And this article is mostly about greed. It's about the Gordon Gekko of the film Wall Street approach to life. I'll just remind us all of the study that was done that kindness and generosity allow for a culture that is able to move into the future. And for our good news of the day, I have a few articles about health from Natural News. Working your way up from adrenal fatigue. It would be no wonder if any of us had adrenal fatigue, considering the emotional stress that a lot of people are under. Long hours, bad food, all kinds of contributing factors to adrenal fatigue. And here are just some suggestions to recover from adrenal fatigue. And kind of going along with the theme of community and healthy community, from Truth Theory, here is an article. Collective study shows that what means the most for our happiness are people, not things. This article reminded me of a documentary that I have seen that's called Happy. It's just one word, Happy. And it's this beautiful documentary about people who have found happiness. And it was on Watch Instantly on Netflix. I'm not certain if it still is, but just a beautiful, with the holidays coming up, if you have people around and you're looking for something upbeat to watch, Happy is it's a great documentary and outlines how it is relationships and living in a secure community among people who care for us that allows us to be happy. And since it is coming up on flu season, Natural News has an article, 6 Easy Natural Ways to Boost Your Immune System for Flu Season. Just some very helpful suggestions. Boost your intake of vitamin A, have some zinc, vitamin C, and some other suggestions. So hoping that you will find that helpful. Definitely hoping that you're not planning on getting a flu shot. Thank you for joining us for today's look at the news. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Hoping that you will love one another, take care, and insist on liberty.